Imagine a crime, right? But one that doesn't start in some dark alley. Instead, it begins kind of quietly in the hidden parts of the internet. Today, we're diving into a story exactly like that. It's the really heartbreaking case of Rie Isogai, an ordinary woman whose life just tragically crossed paths with 3 men.
Strangers to each other, really.
Yeah, strangers driven by this, desperate need for money.
Yeah.
And they met online in this hidden digital space.
This case, it's a really chilling example of the dangers that can pop up when digital anonymity meets, desperate people.
Right.
It shows how things online, even things that seem distant, can have brutal, real-world consequences.
So our mission today is to sort of unpack the whole story. How did these guys connect? What was really driving them? And of course, the awful consequences. We've looked at various sources, including transcripts from the Tang Macaporn YouTube channel and other case info, to piece together what happened. Okay, let's start at the very beginning. The spark for this whole awful thing wasn't some chance meeting. It was the dark web. We hear that term thrown around a lot. So what exactly is the dark web, and how did it become the place where this crime essentially started?
Okay, so the dark web is part of the deep web. Think of the internet like a giant iceberg. The bit we see and use every day, Google, social media, news sites, that's the surface web.
Right, the tip of the iceberg.
Exactly. And that's maybe only 4 or 5% of the whole internet.
Wow, really? That small?
Yeah, staggering, isn't it? The other 95%, the huge hidden part, is the deep web. That includes databases, private networks, stuff search engines don't index. The dark web is just a small, intentionally hidden slice of that deep web.
So it's hidden on purpose. You can't just accidentally browse onto it.
No. Definitely not. You need special software. The most common one is Tor, the onion router.
The onion router.
Yeah. It encrypts your traffic and bounces it around through different servers globally. Makes you very anonymous, very hard to trace.
Okay.
Now, that's great for privacy, for journalists or activists in dangerous places.
Yeah.
But it also makes it a perfect hiding place for illegal stuff.
Like selling drugs, weapons.
Exactly. All that. And, as we see here, recruiting people for crimes. The whole chain of events for Rie Isogai, it literally started right there in that anonymous space.
It's pretty chilling, a privacy tool twisted like that. Which brings us to the men involved. 3 guys, you said strangers, with their own problems, but they found each other through this shared desperation for money.
That's right. Their backgrounds are quite different, but they all had this vulnerability, this financial pressure that made them look for answers, in the wrong places.
Okay, tell us about them. Who were they?
Well, first there was Kenji Kowagishi. He was 40, had a tough childhood, bullied because of a kidney disease. He had a record of minor crimes, but he'd also been married, had 4 kids, though his wife had left him by then.
So things weren't going well for him.
Not at all. Deep financial trouble. He lost his apartment, ended up living in his delivery van.
In his van. Wow.
Yeah. And on the dark web, he was selling these mule bank accounts, basically, accounts used for money laundering. But apparently he spent money as fast as he made it. Seems like he had deeper issues.
Right. Sounds like someone just trying to stay afloat, but sinking fast. Not exactly a criminal mastermind.
No, definitely not. Then there was Tsukasa Kanda. He was 36. Also bullied as a kid, like Kenji. Suffered from chronic headaches, too. And he grew up in an abusive home, eventually fell in with some local thugs. He had actually been jailed before for fraud.
Okay, so he had a more serious record.
A bit, yeah. After getting out, he worked at a publishing house, but struggled. Didn't get along with colleagues or his boss, had money problems, often leaned on his girlfriend. His financial desperation is what pushed him onto the dark web.
So, 2 men, troubled pasts, serious money issues. What about the third one, Yoshitomo Hori? Was he similar?
Yoshitomo Hori, 32, he was actually quite different. No prior criminal record at all.
Really? None?
None. He was a professional dart player.
A pro dart player. Okay, that's unexpected.
Yeah. But he was drowning in debt, something like over 4 million yen. So for him, the dark web wasn't, a criminal career path. It seems like it was a last resort, a desperate grab for cash.
So you have these 3 very different guys, but all desperate.
Exactly. And that's what's kind of fascinating, or maybe disturbing. Their individual struggles, varied as they were, just created this fertile ground for bad ideas once they found each other in that anonymous online space. They weren't a team of pros. They were desperate guys finding a scary kind of synergy online.
And this is where it's really, really disturbing. These strangers connect online. It starts with Kenji, right? He posts on a dark web forum on August 17th, 2007, using the name Yamashita.
Yeah, basically putting out an ad, looking for partners in crime, specifically for robbery. Sources say he was kind of boasting online, trying to sound tougher than he was.
Trying to impress them. And Tsukasa and Yoshitomo, they see this.
They see it, and they respond. Drawn in by the promise of quick money, that led to their first actual meeting in person. And that's where they confirmed, yeah, we're going to do robberies together.
But their first attempts, they weren't exactly smooth operators, were they?
Oh, not at all. Their first real mission was August 21st. They tried petty stuff, pickpocketing, theft at places like pachinko parlors, those gaming places in Japan, and casinos.
How'd that go?
Badly. It just wasn't bringing in enough money. They figured out pretty fast that small-time crime wasn't going to cut it for their debts.
So frustration sets in quick, and that desperation, it just pushes them further.
Exactly. It escalated things rapidly and chillingly. They decided to aim higher, much darker. They started planning kidnappings for ransom.
Kidnappings? Okay, that's a huge leap.
It is, and they tried it pretty much straight away, August 22nd, 23rd. They targeted wealthy women leaving casinos, tried following them home.
Did they succeed?
No. First attempt failed because the woman's house had good security, plus a guard dog.
A dog stopped them.
Okay, yeah. So they tried again the next day, different target, but that house had even tighter security. Foiled again.
They sound completely out of their depth. But instead of stopping, the failures just made them worse.
It seems so. It's a scary dynamic. Their failures didn't make them quit. They seemed to fuel this need to succeed no matter how. The anonymity they felt online maybe made them feel invincible, even when reality was hitting them.
And that's when the talk turned really dark.
Yeah. Frustrated, they started discussing even more extreme violence. Torture, to get financial info like safe codes, ATM PANs.
Oh, God.
And murder. To silence the victim, avoid getting caught so they could keep going. It's a terrifying slide from clumsy theft to planning murder in just a few days.
Just days. Wow. And that brings us, tragically, to Rie Isogai, the person who became the target of this desperate, escalating violence. You described her earlier. Kind, caring, close to her mother. Just a normal young woman with dreams.
That's right. Rie Isogai, born July 20, 1976. Lost her dad young, raised by her mom. They were incredibly close. People described her as strong, kind, empathetic.
She liked board games too, you mentioned.
Yeah, she loved them. Used to go to board game cafes. Just shows her friendly social side.
She sounds lovely. And she had that specific dream, didn't she, about the house?
She did. Worked hard at her admin job in Nagoya.
Yeah.
Saving up. Her big dream was 8 million yen to buy a house for her and her mother.
And the truly heartbreaking part.
She'd saved it. By the time they killed her, she'd actually saved that exact amount.
Oh, that's just gut-wrenching. So her routine, how did she end up in their path?
Just her daily commute. Took the subway, Higashi line, got off at Toyama Station, then about a mile walk home. Same thing every day.
A familiar walk home. But on Friday, August 24th, 2007, everything changed.
It did. She worked late that night, finishing up before the weekend. Got to Toyama Station around 11 p.m.
Late.
Yeah. And her walk home was along a path that was pretty deserted at that hour. Not unusual for Japan back then, but still isolated.
And they were waiting.
They were. Yoshitomo approached her first, pretended he needed directions to a convenience store.
Her classic lure.
Yeah. Before she could even react, Tsukasa grabbed her from behind, locked her arms, and then Kenji just pulled up instantly in the van.
Oh my God.
She screamed, but nobody heard. They forced her into the van, and that was it.
The terror of that moment is unimaginable. What happened then inside the van?
They drove to a secluded parking lot outside Nagoya. First thing, they took her money, 62,000 yen, from her bag, threatened her with a knife to get her ATM PIN.
Did they get more money later?
No, they actually failed to withdraw anything later with the card. But back in the van, things got even worse.
Yeah.
Kenji tried to sexually assault her.
He did.
Yeah. But strangely, Tsukasa and Yoshitomo stopped him.
They stopped him. Why?
The sources don't really say why. It's just another bizarre, disturbing detail in their dynamic.
So even in that horror, there was this conflict between them. And Rie, what was she doing? Incredibly
brave. While the three were arguing amongst themselves, she actually tried to escape from the van.
She tried to run.
Yeah, but they caught her quickly. And then they decided to silence her. They taped her face, tried to suffocate her.
But she survives that.
She did initially. That seemed to push them over the edge. Tsukasa just lost it. He hit her head with a hammer, something like 30 times.
30 times.
While he was doing that, Kenji and Yoshitomo strangled her with a rope. The combination killed her. It was brutal, frenzied.
Just horrific cruelty.
Yeah.
And then disposal.
Yeah. Did they bought shovels beforehand? They were prepared for this. They drove out to a remote forest in Gifu Prefecture, maybe 35 miles away, near a bridge.
And buried her.
Dug a shallow grave, buried her body. Finished around 4 a.m., August 25th. It's just her ordinary life, her dreams, her closeness with her mother, all snuffed out by this awful mix of desperation, amateur crime, and the anonymity the internet provided them.
Such a senseless end. But after the murder, things moved surprisingly fast, didn't they? The police found her body quickly, arrested the men.
It was remarkably fast. And it was because of Kenji.
Kenji, the one who started it all.
The very same one. After they buried Rie, they failed to get money from her ATM. They were actually planning more kidnappings for that same evening, August 25th.
Far, oh God.
Yeah. But Kenji apparently got terrified, overwhelmed by the fear of getting caught, specifically the death penalty. So before they could commit another crime, he called the police.
He confessed?
He confessed everything, told them what they did, where Rie's body was buried.
Wow. A confession from inside. That likely saved more lives.
Almost certainly. Based on his detailed confession, police arrested Tsukasa and Yoshitomo the same day.
And Rie's mother, Fumiko, receiving that news, I can't even imagine.
Utterly devastating. She described it as a huge black hole opening in her heart, identifying her daughter's body. She said it was the most agonizing thing, holding her child for the last time.
But her grief turned into action, didn't it? A powerful fight for justice.
It really did. In Japan back then, the death penalty wasn't often used for a single murder victim. Life imprisonment was more likely. Fumiko wouldn't accept that. She launched this incredible campaign demanding the death penalty for all three.
And people responded.
Massively. It tapped into public shock and outrage over the sheer brutality. She collected over 100,000 signatures in just 10 days.
100,000 in 10 days.
Yeah. And by December, it was over 318,000. Her fight became a national talking point about justice and the law.
What happened at the trial then, with all this public attention?
The trial was in September 2008. All three confessed to everything: murder, robbery, kidnapping, false imprisonment, disposal of the body. Kenji also faced the attempted rape charge.
Did they show remorse?
They confessed, but a key point was how amateur they were. Despite the online boasting, they were panicked and inexperienced in actual violence. And even in court, they tried to shift blame. Kenji and Yoshitomo pointed fingers at Tsukasa for the hammer attack. Tsukasa blamed them for starting the assault.
Still trying to lessen their own responsibility.
So, the verdict. Tsukasa and Yoshitomo were sentenced to death initially. Kenji got life in prison, mainly because he confessed and turned himself in.
Were there appeals?
Yes. Yoshitomo actually won his appeal. His sentence was reduced to life imprisonment.
So he avoided execution?
He did. But Tsukasa's appeal was rejected. His death sentence stood. Tsukasa Kata was executed on June 25, 2015.
And Rie's mother, Fumiko, what became of her after the trial?
She became a really dedicated advocate. She traveled all over sharing Rie's story, raising awareness about safety, especially for women, but also about the dangers lurking online. She squarely blamed the dark web for bringing these men together and enabling the crime.
Turning her immense grief into a mission. That's incredible strength.
It really is. Her fight changed public opinion, sparked debate, and left a lasting legacy focused on safety and accountability.
The Rie Isogai case, it's such a harrowing story. It really shows how desperation, fueled by that anonymity you find online, places like the dark web, can twist ordinary people into doing unimaginable things.
Absolutely.
But it also highlights that incredible strength, doesn't it? A mother's love, her fight for justice, and how that can actually move mountains, change public discourse. When you think about how the digital world and the real world just crash together so tragically here, what really stands out to you? What lessons are there about, the hidden sides of people and the internet itself?
I think it's that reminder that online actions have real, tangible, sometimes devastating consequences. Anonymity isn't impunity. And desperation can be a truly dangerous catalyst, especially when combined with platforms that facilitate connection without accountability.
Yeah, it's a heavy story, but an important one to understand. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. It's been, difficult but necessary. If you found this story compelling, or if you follow stories like this, please consider liking this video, sharing it, and subscribing to our channel, Horror Docs. Your support helps us continue exploring these cases. Take care, everyone.